me now?
Yeah.
All right.
We're having some mic troubles at our last lecture, but we have that solved this time. So thank you everyone for coming tonight and joining us for the 4th lecture in the Hidden History Lecture Series. We are honored to have Mr. Chester Owens with us tonight to discuss the life and legacy of America's band leader William P. Foster. And I'd like to thank Janice and Ron Witt for helping us organize these events and for collaborating with us. The next lecture is scheduled for March 23rd here at the main library, and Mr. Owens will discuss the AME Church and Western University. So stay tuned for that, and if you'd like to know about future events and future lectures, please make sure you write down your email address on the sign-in sheet at the back of the room. And we do have some handouts there as well, too, that go along with the lecture tonight. Mr. Owens came to Kansas City at the age of 13. He attended Sumner High School and Sumner Junior College and received his bachelor's in business administration from Pittsburgh State University. He had a long career at HW Sewing & Co., retiring in 1998 as president. He's been a business professional, civil activist, humanitarian, and Kansas City historian. His collection of Sumner High School artifacts helped establish the Sumner High School Alumni Room, which is named in his honor. In 1983, Mr. Owens was the first African-American in the 20th century elected to the Kansas City, Kansas City Council and served as the chairman of the Labor and Industry Committee for the NAACP. He has received numerous awards throughout his lifetime for his civil rights and community service work. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Chester Owens.
Thank you, Ann. You read it just like I wrote it. It's a need and honor to be here tonight, and I seeing so many friends I haven't seen for some time. I even see a young man back there who has a FAMU shirt on. He's talking to Ann right now, but he has a FAMU shirt on, that color. All right. Good distinction, and that's what we're going to be talking about. But, you know, I'm from a large family. There are 8 in our family. And we were always trained. I always like to acknowledge my family. You don't have to excuse me. I have 2 sisters here tonight, Virginia and Sandra.
Oh, okay.
Grandson, I don't think my grandson has ever heard me speak publicly. My grandson is and my nephew, Eric Kirkwood. There are so many people here that I'd like to acknowledge. One being Miss Mary Conrad. Miss Conrad, hold up your hand. Probably in doing this Sumner Alumni Room, she was the person who assisted us, but long before the Alumni Room, to go up to Sumner now, in the hallway, science fair. Miss Conrad had done that long before the Alumni Room.
Amen. Right.
And they've kept materials which she gave to us. So Miss Conrad, it's always a pleasure to be in your company.
All right.
It is good to be here, to see you all. I didn't know if you'd be here tonight. I thought some would still be celebrating the Chiefs win.
Oh, really?
And, but that's good. We'll be doing the same thing, this same lecture tomorrow at the community college. I would like to thank the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. There's another person coming, and y'all don't know him. My sister, I'm going to shock y'all. That's my other son. Y'all didn't know. No, really, that's a young man who really looks out for me.
All right.
We met years ago, and he and my daughter, Carla, who's deceased, were good friends, and he looks out after me. I don't know what I would do without Ricky White.
All right.
All right. I would like to thank the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library and Miss Ann Lacey. She's just been excellent.
Amen.
And civics and Janice Witt. I don't know what Janice is here, but I'm sure she'll be here before we finish. Janice I did not know until really about 6 months ago. And was not aware of all the things that she was involved in and the things that she does in this community that we don't know anything about. Janice does a good job, and I hope she's here before we finish. I want you to know that I do not take these lectures for granted, Ann, and I consider it a privilege to do these presentations. You know, I do a lot of presentations, but for some reason, this one I've really been excited about doing. I don't know why. picked up the handout. Did everybody get a handout? If you do not have one, please get one. And again, Ann, thank you so much for getting all that together for me.
Amen.
This also happens to be Black History Month.
Yes, it is.
Why Black History?
Well,
Most of you already know, so I'm not talking to you all, but when did it start? And who was responsible for its beginning? One of the handouts that you have answers all these questions. This is a copy of the original pamphlet in 1926. So when you take it to your neighbors, and you can tell them, you already know that, but you can tell them this is how it all started. Janice just came in. Janice has just done an excellent job. I just finished talking about you and all of the positive things that you do in this city. Thank you, Janice.
you know I'm laughing.
When you have time, please read this entire document on the association, and it says ASNLH, which was the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. Dr. Carter G. Woodson was a motivating force of the beginning, and it has continued until today. In the beginning, it was Negro History Week when many of us came along.
Yes.
And now, it's Black History Month.
All right.
The name of the organization has changed to the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. The history of African Americans in Wyandotte County is so rich, so rich. We were here before the Civil War, and this is part of the history that is being researched right now. One of the historians of Wyandotte County, Lauren Taylor, and many of you know him, Lauren is working right now on doing research in African Americans going way back, and this is something that I did not know anything about, and I will be working with him and learning. And some of it I will be in the later years, but Lauren just does an excellent job on so many things. I am very excited about learning everything I can about our history. Because of this rich history, it gives me an opportunity to talk about it. I will always be grateful for the late Mr. Orrin Murray and Mr. Ernest Gayton for the information that they willingly gave to so many of us. A lot of the rich history evolved from Sumner High School. Even though Sumner High School did not begin until 1905, persons from the 1800s had a guiding hand in its early days and its development. I gave a presentation at this library approximately 3 or 4 years ago, I'm not sure. But I would like to do another presentation sometime just on Sumner High School. And I talk about Sumner. People get tired of hearing me talking about Sumner.
No.
There was also a young lady in the back named Kamisha. Kamisha did a documentary on Sumner High School, The Best Kept Secret. She has them there for sale. She does an excellent job. And she attended Sumner Academy.
All right.
And had never heard anything about Sumner High School, even though the room was right there in the high school.
Have mercy, Lord.
The documentary, and I don't know if you got this order blank, but if you really want to hear what some of us say about Sumner High School,
All right.
here's some people talking about it. Get the documentary and look at it. Thank you, Commissioner, for being here.
All right.
Of course, I wouldn't have missed it.
The schools in Kansas, and I'm talking about Dr. Foster, keep this in mind, was segregated until 1954, and even a few years after that. If you were an African American and you attended an all-black elementary school, no matter where you lived.
That's true.
Rosedale, Armadale, Armstrong, and Argentine, didn't make any difference. After elementary school, you were bused to Northeast Junior High School by either McCallum or Rutgers bus service, both owned by African Americans.
All right.
Or you were given 2 bus tickets,
Have
bus
mercy.
tokens. one to go home in the evening, and one to come back in the
Have
morning.
mercy, Lord.
Now, really, in order to really understand, oftentimes when you're talking about history back this far, and I'm always the oldest person wherever I go, but in order to really understand it, try and visualize what it may have been like.
I know.
I lived 1 year, I came to Kansas City when I was in the 8th grade, and stayed in Rosedale with my uncle for 1 year. Then went back to Arkansas. But living in Rosedale at that time, they called it Wyandotte. I had no idea what nothing over here looked like.
Oh, okay.
I'd get my bus token, I'd walk from 41st and Minnie to 41st and Rainbow, catch the bus, ride to up 5th and State, then catch a bus and go down 3rd Street and walk up to 4th and True. School's over, you'd go back home. So there were a few athletes who participated in extracurricular activities. But if you lived in Rosedale and Argentine, you just went to school and went back home.
Right.
You know anything what it looked like over here. And people still actually call this in Rosedale and Argentine, still call this Wyandotte. And getting up in the morning and walking from 41st and Minnie, and it's about a little over a quarter of a mile to catch a bus. And of course there were a lot of us, so we had a lot of fun. The teachers at these schools had you prepared for the best when you got to Sumner High School. We talk about Sumner, but Sumner could not have been the school that it was without the elementary and junior high school team. They did a fantastic job.
All right.
We talk about people like Dr. Foster. But if you attended this school, the vast majority of cases, you became a good citizen. You became a good citizen. If you went to these schools, really from elementary through high school, one thing we find from some of the people, we always want to be in charge. You find some of the person feeding something, he's going to want to, or she's going to want to be in charge, and that's what we were taught.
Have mercy.
It was always emphasized that you had to be better to be equal.
Amen.
And in my opinion, we did just that.
Amen.
Our school was buttressed by our homes, our churches, and community, which had a common goal, be the best. William Patrick Foster, also known as Mastro, the Law, the Legend, the man behind the baton, America's bandmaster, the
Yes.
creator of the world-renowned Florida A&M Marching 100 Band. These are just some of the titles that were given to him. Dr. Foster attended Keeling Elementary School,
All right, now.
located near 4th and Troop, from the 1st to the 3rd grade. Then he went to Stowe Elementary School, near 3rd and Richmond, from the 4th to the 6th grade. Then to Northeast Junior High School, which is also located in 4th and Troop, from the 7th to the 9th grade. And Sumner High School at that time was at 9th and Washington Boulevard, from the 10th to the 12th grade. At one time, most people would know exactly where these locations are, but I'm not so sure of that now. If you ask a person where's 4th and Troop, they probably wouldn't know, or where 3rd and Richmond. A lot of people would not even know where these locations are. None of the schools that Dr. Foster attended are still standing, except Northeast Junior High School is now a senior citizen facility. It's still there, but it's not a school.
Right.
The question I wonder, has part of our history been lost?
Yes.
I'm just raising a question, I don't know, but none of the schools, if I ask many of you who grew up here, did any of the schools that you attended, do they still exist? Douglas,
Yeah.
still there. Grant is still there. But I always, let me have a little brief history quiz, and some of you heard me, particularly took the tours. Who was Grant Elementary School named after?
Grant.
Grant. All right, you're right. Anybody know what Grant Elementary School was named after?
Which
Eric knows. Eric, that's my nephew. He knows more than I do.
I think it was named after a Bishop Grant.
Bishop of the AME Church.
Yeah.
Most people will automatically say Bishop, Ulysses S. Grant was named after an AME bishop. One of the tragedies of my life is to see how the area around the elementary and junior high school, where so many great persons came from, now has so many negative connotations. That hurts when I hear people say that. It's just a bunch of crap. What happened? Somewhere along the line, we're going to have to answer that question. I would like to make a few comments about FAMU, and I'll refer to it as FAMU, which is Historic Black University. It's commonly known as an HBCU. In doing research for this presentation, I found some Sumner High School connections. And I usually, when I'm doing research, I usually find this on HBCUs. I usually find this. Rebecca Bloodworth,
You're right.
a legendary teacher at Northeastern Sumner,
Yes.
taught at FAMU before she came to Kansas City, Kansas. I didn't know that until a week ago. Virginia Curry. I don't think anybody in the room is old enough to remember Mr. Curry, who taught at Sumner High School. Virginia Curry, a 1939 graduate of Sumner High School, a Phi Beta Kappa
All right.
from KU in 1943.
All right.
Can you imagine being a Phi Beta Kappa at KU in 1943? She attended Sumner Junior College in 1 year. She taught at FAMU. Inez Gergen Kaiser,
Inez, I like her.
a 1935 high school graduate and of the high school, and a 1937 graduate of Sumner Junior College.